people are legitimately concerned that they themselves are going to get banned eventually. They think that it'll happen to them because a lot of leftists get banned all the fucking time and you never hear about it. All right, let's start with Elon Musk first before we get to Nancy's Pelosi's, and what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi. Okay, free Twitter. ICE is beheading videos. The masses. Elon Musk and Twitter. The Tesla guy might be fake. Okay, we'll look at it in a second. Okay, but yeah, let's get started. First of all, Elon Musk. What did he do? Okay, after all. Here's why things are not going to change that dramatically at Twitter, okay? Because ultimately, this motherfucker still wants to make money, okay? That's why when he came out of the gates swinging, the first thing he talked about was advertisers. What was the first thing Elon Musk said? He shook up the executive board, right? And that's always a problem. For volatility within the company, because you just like eliminated some of the top level executives, which, by the way, I think a company can be run without all of those motherfuckers. Let's be real. Okay. A company cannot be run without the engineers, but a company like that can certainly run without the CEO. Okay. It doesn't matter. Those guys don't do anything. And then they cash in a $42 million severance payment. I don't care about that. I don't care about those guys. I do think it's funny that you could be like a billionaire and still get fired like that on a whim by just a more powerful billionaire than you, which is funny. But like I said, you cannot fucking run a goddamn platform without the actual workers, okay? So good luck to Elon saying he was going to fucking fire 75%. He said he was not going to. Now, after he fired the head legal the chief legal counsel, after he fired the chief legal counsel and he fired the CEO and a couple of other people, he went in and basically the first group of individuals that he responded to or reached out to over Twitter was the investors. Not the investors, sorry, the advertisers. Because Twitter is a platform run by advertising, okay? That is how they generate revenue. We're off to quite a start with Groyper Nazi trolls feeling explicitly emboldened by Elon to threaten murder, use racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic slurs. I'm sure advertisers are going to love having their ads next to this. Elon now controls Twitter. Unleash the racial slurs. I can freely express how much I hate. Oh my God, with a fucking Ariana Grande? Wait, with an Ariana Grande avatar? Stop. That makes it extra funny, dude. That makes it so much funnier. Oh my God. She must have missed the arc when Ariana was, These guys are such fucking losers, man. I know that like, the goal for people like this is to just be like, dude, I'm so fucking edgy. Like, look at me. I said some shit. Meanwhile, the dude who says that is the most chinless person you've ever seen in your entire life. Okay. Just straight up. Like the dude fucking posting that literally looks like this. Okay. Anytime a motherfucker's like, bro, oh yeah, I'm going to say all the slurs. Like, yeah, I'm going to kill black people or whatever. This is what the dude looks like. That dude would unironically turn into dust. The moment that he stepped foot outside of his house, he would turn into dust, okay? Just straight bugmen. Talking about how not bugmen they are by posting the most like racial slurs you can. Thinking that, speaking like your fucking great-grandfather, who was also a fucking loser just like you, makes you somehow edgy, okay? Get some edge on that chin, motherfucker, okay? Anyway, attractive people can be Nazis too, yes, but right now, I'm just, going for the throat, okay? Now, of course, these guys didn't understand that, like, Elon Musk is still going to ban these motherfuckers. Like, Twitter is 100% going to ban these people because he very explicitly stated that, like, you know, there is still going to be very significant, there's still going to be very significant boundaries to the terms of service. Why? Because all the platforms that don't have that, which, by the way, there is actually no such platform where there's no terms of service. Even 4chan Poll has a TOS, technically, no bronies, you know what I mean? And no CP. Like, every platform is going to have boundaries, and Twitter is probably going to maintain most of its boundaries. Specifically because if you don't have those boundaries, people will not stay on the platform. Okay? People will literally not stay on the platform if it's just this. No one wants to be around this, okay? This is stinky. This triggers my olfactory cues, okay? Over the fucking monitor. Like, I read this and I smelled how bad this post smells, okay? It's too stinky. No one wants to be around that shit. No one. That's why Parler, Gab, all these other fucking platforms are duds. They're awful. Okay? That's why, like, Facebook might have the international marketplace, but in the United States, it's far from, I would say, one of the more important websites for media and all these, like, celebrities. It's just like, no one has a Facebook. I don't have a fucking Facebook. Do you think boundaries will be relaxed around abusive trans people, though? Twitter already wasn't handling that well, and Elon is outright transphobic. Yes, I think that they will unshackle it further. But again, it is all entirely dependent on, like, what advertisers are going to consider to be adequate. And the reality is, Elon Musk is already aware of this, aware of that, and that's precisely why the first thing he did was to tell the advertisers, like, trust me, the platform is still going to have, like, diverse viewpoints and shit like that. I mean, this is something he tweeted afterwards, but this was the first thing he tweeted as soon as he took over the helm. Wait, where'd it go? Did he delete the letter? Yeah, here. Bro, look at this. Look. He entered the headquarters, and then the next day, the first thing he posted is this. And I read this last night, and basically the short and sweet of it is like, oh, I want it to be a digital town square. I don't want extreme leftist ideas, and I don't want extreme right-wing ideas, okay? There's a dumbass who constantly tweets lies on purpose to test free speech. The letter is good? No, it's not good. What do you mean, dude? Look. If you can't comprehend how fucked the system is when, like, one singular individual can, like, take over what everyone kind of considers to be, like, the town square and just change it in dramatic ways in whichever way he wants to. Like, and you don't recognize that that's kind of fucked up. I don't know what to tell you. It's just wild. You deleting Twitter? Fuck no. I don't give a fuck. Bro, I'm already severely mentally ill, okay? Why the fuck am I on Twitter? Why am I on Twitter? Most normal people, okay? Most normal people in, like, entertainment, they just stay the fuck off Twitter. They don't post. They just only post when they want to, like, do an ad or, like, they want to fucking inform their fan base or whatever on what they're working on. I post every day. I post regularly. I'm a power user. I not only post regularly, but I also, like, get in the dirt. You know what I mean? I stare directly at the fucking darkness. I stare directly at the most unhinged, most mentally ill takes you can see on the platform. And I sometimes even reply to it. You know what I mean? I stoop to the level of, like, an anime avatar motherfucker because I'm psychotic. So it's whatever. If Twitter became unmanageable and unusable, it would probably be better for my mental health if I stopped using it. The uncertain future of speech on Twitter, interview with ContraPoints. Also, if you don't want to understand how dangerous it is to equate, I want to kill all ethnic, religious, and sexual minorities, Nazis, to I want to stop these people and build a better world, Marxist, and there is no hope. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. There is no hope because that centrist attitude is unironically weaponized by right-wingers regularly. It has a built-in center-right disposition. Center-right to far-right disposition, and it is very effective. A lot of people agree with that. Where are you going to find a better centralized news outlet? Yeah, I mean, there is plenty of benefits to Twitter, too, on top of everything else. It's what I primarily use to source breaking news coverage from, my journalist friends, is where I communicate with them, too. Like, it is a powerful platform for many different reasons. And, you'll find a way. We'll find a way. All right, let's watch. Let's watch this.
Begin with one of the nation's most politically influential social media platforms now under new ownership could have big implications for our democracy. According to multiple reports, Elon Musk is now.
Liberals are gonna hate this, especially because Elon was posting about Russia shit too. You know what I mean? They are going to be especially libbed up to be like, oh man, Elon, this is a national security concern.
Officially in charge of Twitter after a multi-billion-dollar deal that he actually tried to back out of at one point. There are also reports that he's already fired the CEO and other top executives. Change is coming there. Overnight, Musk tweeted, quote, "The bird is freed." Jonathan Vigliotti has made his way to Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. Jonathan, yesterday, Mr. Musk walked in with a sink. Apparently, executives are walking out with little boxes of their stuff. Change is coming. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Tony. And the question this morning, how will Musk balance out freedom of speech while at the same time discouraging and reining in misinformation? The stakes are incredibly high for millions of Americans. I want you to keep in mind, the U.S. prosecutors determined in 2016 a Russian agency used Twitter and other social media sites in an attempt to sway the election. Even Twitter's founder said misinformation about false election claims led to the attack on the Capitol last year.
You made an offer to buy Twitter.
Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk has been talking and tweeting about it since April.
Well, I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for free speech.
After roaring.
Dude, free speech as a concept is so funny, okay? No one believes it. Absolutely no one actually believes it. Everyone misunderstands it. And to say that free speech is supposed to be objective and free is also hilarious because it's directly guided by whatever, it's directly motivated by whatever the Overton window looks like, okay? Free speech in a country like the United States of America oftentimes simply just means, if you're a whistleblower, you're going to jail. If you're truly speaking out against power and the preconceived hierarchy, the hierarchical powers, you're going to jail or you're going to be hurt. The cops are going to beat the shit out of you, okay? If you're a Black Lives Matter protester, cops are going to beat the shit out of you. Free speech also means you just can say hate speech. That's it, without any sort of fucking consequences. That's usually what free speech is about. Let's be real. 90% of the discourse revolves around that, and only 10% of the discourse, unironically, revolves around people who are actually very exhibiting bravery and putting their lives on the line to let people know about injustices that are happening. Okay? It's just such a dumb fucking conversation to have, and it was one that was... it's one that we basically buried into the fucking ground after having it 1 million plus times over during the Gamergate era. Okay? That's it. For a lot of people, like Elon Musk even, free speech is just like being transphobic. Okay? Can I not be transphobic? Like, what the fuck? Without getting punished by the terms of service. That's what free speech is. That's the most significant part of free speech. Okay? How transphobic can I be without getting banned? It's never about it's never about, it's about defending people that are engaging in ridiculous hate campaigns towards children's hospitals. You know what I mean? It's about libs of TikTok and and Matt Walsh and others like that who are engaging in mass harassment campaigns without getting banned or without suffering any kind of repercussion whatsoever. That's what free speech is about. It's defended on those boundaries, okay? Christians say it goes against their Christian right to tell gays they are sinning. I wonder how many transphobes have ever actually interacted with a trans person IRL. Yeah, the only time transphobes interact with trans people is when they're jerking off to trans porn. Not true. The world needs to hear about trans pedos and communists trying to indoctrinate our children. We cannot be allowed America to be stolen by people who hate the country. Hank Pecker deserves a place on the platform. He's been unjustly silenced. I agree, brother. So what should speech rules be? You sound like the Catholic Church. I think that it's very vague. Like speech is very vague and it's subject to interpretation. Like I say shit as Hank Pecker, or I talk about things that I am incredibly critical of that are deeply transphobic. Obviously, I would not like to get banned for that, right? I don't even have an issue with random fucking people going off the hinges on like trans people or whatever, or anything like that. Random racist people every now and then. I have an issue with people with large platforms that are engaging in dedicated mass harassment and targeted harassment campaigns against marginalized communities. Obviously, I think most people recognize that if you say shit like this, you're going to get banned. Like, you're just going to get banned. I don't think anyone would defend this because that's not like that. Banning that would actually be banning free speech, obviously, which would be implementing a boundary on free speech. But you can't. But you get it. Like, you understand. This is not a productive conversation. This is not something that you're saying specifically to The only purpose for this speech is to just incite violence and hatred, right? That's it. And I'm sure that account has already been clapped up, most likely. And I think most people do get that. I think most people do understand that. Most people do get that. Most people will not defend something like this. Like, if you defend something like this, you're just brain broken, right? Like, you're so fucking brain broken. Yeah, you deserve to be banned. But yeah, doxing, mass harassment, attacking, marginalized communities, things like that. I think you should absolutely get banned for that, for sure. What annoys me most is Elon acting like he did this for altruistic reasons, like he said it wasn't for money when it's clearly not the case. He has a larger agenda. Yeah. But O'Rourke Hasanabi had confirmed. I don't think he knows what that shirt is. I'll be honest with you. So then who makes that determination? Tech companies? Yeah. I think so. Someone has to. Yeah. And they get a lot wrong. Listen, I know you're trying to try to catch me in a logic hole here or something because you're, hyper rational and you want to debate your right to say slurs and stuff. But I've had this conversation a million times over. And not only that, but I've also been banned more times than your favorite racist content creator. So, I get it. I catch strays regularly. Okay. But ultimately, I still defend Twitch's, for example, terms of service, which I think are vague and really shitty from time to time, but is still good to have. I've been banned more times than any of the other top content creators on this fucking platform, and yet I still ride for the terms of service because I recognize the important role it plays. It's good for advertisers, too. It's good for advertisers, but it's also good in general for platform safety. How are you going to say that when you work with Ethan Law? What do you mean? Good for advertisers, they're loving it? Yes, when your platform is not fucking slur central, white supremacy central, advertisers are more likely to give you better fucking ad campaigns and higher CPMs, which end up like there's a pro-capitalist argument for terms of service, okay? Just like there is a pro be a good person and have a moral compass argument for it, there is a pro-capitalist argument for terms of service and applying it as well. I'm hitting it from both angles. Which is part of the reason why I think Elon Musk is going to maybe unshackle certain parts of the restrictions, but will maintain most of it. You get it? This honestly just boils down to politics overall. If you have any strongly held political beliefs, you will fight for those to be presiding sentiment in society, whether right or left. I'm not afraid to say yes. I want Twitter to have a perceived leftist bend in terms of acceptance and respect for everyone. Yeah. Me too. Oh, 100%. If your entire political movement revolves around being able to say that like trans people deserve to die or whatever, then yeah, I don't think you should be on the platform. I don't think you should be on any platform. And I don't care if platforms ban you. I think that's apt. That's adequate. That's a good thing overall. Because you're a piece of shit. You're stinky. You smell bad. Don't do that. But also, there is the other side of this where it's like, yeah, does it get abused? Do the restrictions on free speech get abused? All the time. Nazis love using the German hate crime and hate speech laws against whoever they perceive to be anti-Nazi. It's like their favorite fucking thing. Groiped up shouties, okay, that sit in fucking forums all over the internet and sit in Discord servers, love doing mass targeting and mass. They love engaging in campaigns where they're just like mass reporting, and they try to use that to their advantage. And if you are a large enough content creator like myself, you can, after many, many years of dealing with it, try to educate platforms on how to deal with that and recognize when it's happening. But if you're a smaller content creator, the platform might not actually look at you in the same way. And the people that mass boycott and mass report the most are conservatives, 100%. Do you think he's going to create a two-tier system so big enough people like Trump can stay on? Like keep most of the rules for the random corporate anime PFP terrorists, but keep the bigger chunks of shit? Maybe. Elon is in for a rude awakening shortly. Any moderation is going to be met with pitchforks from the right. The real reason he bought Twitter was to allow foreign propaganda to influence policy and elections and his money. The Trump thing? Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Trump says he's staying on truth. I think he's lying, but I would hope to see him back on the platform because he's a great poster. Do you think untargeted hate is a bannable offense? I think a ban is just pointless as the hate is and can drive these supremacist communities underground and prevent meaningful intervention. No, I think you're too... the most charitable interpretation of your take is that you're too naive, and the least charitable interpretation of your take is that you are behaving like a naive person, specifically so you can filter, so specifically you can traffic the notion, the ideas that like there is some value to having like someone who is saying, kill N-words or whatever on the platform. No. There is no value to that. Deplatforming does work. If it didn't work, the right wouldn't fucking constantly cry about it, okay? It does. It fucking works. It 100% works. That's the truth. It's much better to like filter and stop the further spread of hate and normalization of hate, especially in a hateful society, than to try and like individually go to every single person and try to reason with them. As someone that has reasoned with a lot of these people, I often think that people in the margins are much easier to change the minds of, and not through debate, but through doing exactly what I do. That's why this community is full of people that may have even had hateful ideas. I have had bigoted opinions prominently. I have changed my mind as well, and others can too. But when you talk about like, right-wing content creators and whatever who are making money off of spreading those sorts of ideas, that's not going to happen. They're not going to, that's their bread and butter. Like, they're not going to change their minds. What about bigotry is bad? Good one, dude. He said, hostile. What about bigotry is bad? And do you think the damage caused by Trump being able to rejoin Twitter is outweighed by the content? You say it's great, but it's arguably bad he gets that platform back. Yeah, I'm being selfish on that one, I think. For sure. For me, I specifically think that the world is already fucked. And it is, you might as well try to enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? And, having Trump, having Donald Trump be in a position of prominence and have allowing him to have a fucking platform makes Twitter more enjoyable because he's like a great poster overall. So I am recognizing that I'm fucking absolutely selfish. Easy for a millionaire to say, what? What does this have to do with what? I know everyone will say true because like it's such a common fucking reaction, but like I don't even understand how that, like, Trump offline, Trump online, I don't know how that impacts me in any capacity. Doesn't deplatforming from main platforms push people to more extreme echo chambers like Rumble, Truth Social, etc.? That's my only gripe with it. Brother, it doesn't matter. You have dampened, you have softened the blow, you've limited the impact at that point. That's why I don't fucking deal with like neo-Nazis unless they're at a point where like they are genuinely reaching mainstream status. Like, there's no deplatforming fucking works. Like, you are crazy if you think that these like Truth Social, Gab, these other platforms are like overall making people more radical or whatever. Like, those people are already radical. You're basically stating that like those people that we've cast aside to like some dark fucking corner should literally be on Twitter. No, you're openly admitting that they're radicalizing each other in a fucking dark corner somewhere. I'd rather have them radicalize each other in a dark corner than radicalize a significantly larger proportion of the population on the fucking main. Why are people effing? No, there is no F. At least not on my end. My bit rate is stable. Those people are contact poison. The more people they come into contact with, the more people they brain poison. Yeah. It's infinitely better to make sure that those people are not trying to actively radicalize other people. Okay? You're basically saying, you're basically admitting that reality. You're admitting that like no matter what happens, they're gonna be like fucking radicalizing each other. So I'd rather limit that. I'd rather soften the blow, limit the impact as best as you can. Do you not believe the right is more inviting right now due to the gatekeeper behavior from the left? Thus, the right is garnering more support. I mean, I think that it is a much larger, more significant systemic. It's a consequence of much larger systems than just like the left being gatekeepy or whatever. The left being gatekeepy is annoying. The left being constantly engaging in like not only self-crit, usually not even self-crit, but just like criticizing everyone else that they are that they consider to be not left enough is annoying and shitty and lame. I yell about that all the fucking time. Most of those people are not even leftists. They're just like rad libs. Okay? Like, I hate that sort of stuff. I hate it. I think it's lame. I think you should do emotional labor if you can and educate people as best as you can, because a fucking Nazi or a right-winger is never going to go, sorry, Sweaty, you do the reading on your own. No, they're like super excited to tell you all about why the white race needs to be celebrated and defended. You know what I mean? Like, but ultimately trying to rewire people one by one is not the most effective way to do it, which is why we rely on some systemic power in the form of terms of service and shit like that. Is there any way to legitimately arrive at a consensus on how to apply First Amendment? Sometimes it feels like this is as subjective as arguments around abortion rights. Everyone seems to have their own dumbass opinion on how to interpret. Yeah, there is no objective, like, neutral way to interpret First Amendment rules. Of course not. America has one of the most expansive and one of the broadest coverage for First Amendment, for free speech. Other countries do not have that. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to have some limits, some further limits on the First Amendment, okay? Bro, where are all these keep the nonsense on platforms people when they're on the platform? I don't think any of them are spending all their time trying to rewire people. And if they don't want it, it's kind of a self-admission that you just agree with whatever the current right-winger is saying on bigger social media sites. I think it's partially that, but it's also partially this like brain-broken understanding of First Amendment and free speech rules that have been hammered into your mind. And I think it's partially because like people are legitimately concerned that they themselves are going to get banned eventually, right? They think that it'll happen to them because a lot of leftists get banned all the fucking time and you never hear about it. Palestinian activists regularly get banned, like routinely, okay? It's super commonplace. I've never heard large platforms discuss Palestinian activists getting banned. I've never heard large platforms discuss like someone who is advocating for Palestine being deplatformed from or being canceled or being literally taken off their platform. Like the right have captivated the cancel culture narrative so aggressively that even though they are the ones who weaponize it, I think more frequently than the left, people still assume that the left is constantly in the canceling game. No, it's not true. Look at Ethan Klein. Look at myself. We get canceled all the fucking time, okay? We get canceled and deplatformed all the fucking time. Like, so commonplace. Nonstop. And it's not being conducted by the left. It's being conducted by the right. They weaponize it at every turn. And they also simultaneously act like it's only the left doing it. And even when they are engaging in cancellations, they will turn around and say, well, we did it because the left did it first. Easy for a millionaire to say, lol. I mean, yeah, it is easy. That's why I say it, bitch, because I'm fucking privileged. You know what I mean? I try to use my privilege for good. You want me to use it for bad? I will do it. Don't fucking test me. You're full of shit, man, and you know it. See, this guy, Chess Mania on crack. Brother, you might be new here and maybe you're oblivious to the reality, but I have been deplatformed more times than most right-wing content creators have. And it's always for some fucking dumb shit like the utilization of the anti-white hate speech term that is a, delicious, salty snack. Okay? I'm not going to say it right now. Okay? I've been deplatformed for my takes on American foreign policy. I've been deplatformed routinely. I get mass targeted and mass reported all the fucking time. Okay? Didn't you say for the longest time canceling doesn't work or doesn't do anything? No, cancel culture in the way that people understand it is not a real concept, okay? Cancel culture is real if you're a Joe Schmo, okay? If you're an everyday schmuck, if you're an average fucking daily worker, you get canceled for wearing the wrong thing. You get canceled if your manager is not even fucking feeling you like that. You know what I mean? You get canceled for not reciprocating, sexual advances from a higher up. You lose your job for nothing like that. But the way we understand cancel culture is like famous people getting yelled at for saying dumb shit, or sometimes people misunderstanding what they're even saying, okay? And ultimately, that never works unless your side is saying, yeah, that was a bridge too far and we're not going to support you anymore. Okay? That's it. That's the only time. That's the only time cancel culture is ever discussed, and it doesn't even have that real fucking staying power. Like Kanye West is a great example. Kanye West is still not quote unquote canceled. He still has a platform. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it, right? And he's still choosing to be deeply anti-Semitic. Now listen, he's lost a bunch of his jobs. He's lost a bunch of his fucking brand deals. He's lost a bunch of that shit. But the reality is, you would have fucking lost everything significantly before Kanye West got to the point that he was at. Okay? You as an everyday Joe Schmo, imagine going into fucking Chili's and you're a waiter there and you literally deliver fucking, $5 jalapeno poppers and you say, man, how about them Jews, am I right? You say that shit, you're done. That's it. That's the last shift you've ever taken. You're blacklisted from working at a fucking Chili's establishment ever again. The fuck do you mean? Kanye West was able to do that for months, for years, apparently, behind closed doors to other people that he was working with, okay? And then for months, prominently. That's insane, dude. The way that we deal with like famous people, celebrities, the mega wealthy, the mega powerful is crazy. And I even consider myself to be a part of that as well. I have a lot of leeway with what I get to say. I'm an entertainer. Let's get back to fucking Elon Musk.
Onto the roads with Tesla.
Well, welcome.
And soaring into the galaxy with SpaceX, Musk has now apparently taken over the Twitterverse in a deal valued at $44 billion.
I think he's clear that
inflation has taken my ability to prime sub. You are complicit in my torturous 6-second ad breaks. Brother, it's going to get worse for you. I'm just going to keep it $1.50. You are going to see more ads on November 1st. A lot more ads. Not as much as some of the 8-minute ad breaks and shit you've seen out there, but that's what they're pushing for. I've been able to lower it to a, more manageable degree, but yes, more ads are coming.
he's gonna take it in a different direction.
Brent Thill is a technology analyst at Jefferies.
So get ready for
he
that.
Says the immediate
by whichever way necessary. Can't wait to stop watching. Okay. Dudes would be like, bro, I'm going to stop watching this. And then what? Watch TV? Yeah. Just get, the proper programs. You've been on the internet for long enough. If you don't know what proper programs you need to use, I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you right now. I did for years and years until they were like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? You're not allowed to say what programs you can use to not see the fucking ads. But you need to figure it out. Okay? People will be like, bro, I'm going to fucking stop watching you and watch other streamers. Okay, there's not going to be other streamers that have less ads than me. That is a guarantee. The only difference is I'm one of the at the top of the platform. I'm one of the few streamers that gets their contract negotiations lined up before anyone else. So I'm one of the people that actually gets hit with a higher density, even though my current density is going to be reflective of like streamers' densities right now. Let's finish this.
Firings of top executives, as reported by the Associated Press, would be part of those changes.
He was clear that he didn't align with the board or the senior management.
Why are you talking about your ad density changing when you know for a fact come November 1st you'll still get a ton of shit about it? Oh, 100%. It doesn't matter though. I just want to let you guys know in here that so it's not just like you're hitting the fucking face. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. Fewer ads are granular. Less is for things that you don't count individually. Okay, fewer ads.
Team, and he believed the company was poorly run.
Added to that, Musk has been vocal about the role he wants to see the social media giant play in global communications. He tweeted a message to advertisers Thursday saying in part, "The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square," voicing concern that traditional media has fueled and catered to polarized extremes. And in doing so, the opportunity for dialogue is lost. He added, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything could be said with no consequences. But Phil wonders if Musk's business model, where even controversial voices are welcome, will work.
In the short term, the only way the financial health continues is advertising. And I can tell you, every advertiser I speak to is running from this platform, not flocking to the platform.
And when we talk about the threat of misinformation, there will be a critical test in the weeks to come when millions of American voters head to the polls for the midterms, Tony.
Up their voices. Right? Yeah, people will be watching out for misinformation and the like. But to the earlier point, you reported that Elon Musk says he doesn't want a free-for-all hellscape, his words, where anything can be said, no consequences on Twitter. I think the question on a lot of people's minds is, what does that mean for folks who have been banned or suspended? People like, I don't know, Donald Trump, Kanye West.
Yeah, a great question, Tony. At this point, we can only speculate at what Musk himself has said publicly. Back in May, he said he would reverse a ban on Trump. His quote saying, morally wrong, flat out stupid to have such a ban. At this hour, we can say right now, Trump is still suspended. Of course, all of that could change, and rapidly. We've seen a lot of rapid decisions in just a few hours once Twitter was taken over by him.
He's the chief twit now, as he puts it. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Some people say just get your popcorn and let's go.
Yeah, me.